Hi Pre-K Joy, it's Miss Ashley, and I wanted to come on and share our Bible story for this week with you guys because I know you miss it, and I miss it too. Before we get to our Bible story, I wanted you guys to remember the story that we read last week when we were still at school all together. Here it is, last week. It's a little hard to see, but you can see that this is the red card, and that means last week. And underneath we have the picture from last week. Can you remember the story just by looking at the picture? That's right. It's Jesus asking the little children to come to him. And in our memory verse, we talked about how Jesus wants everyone to come and love him because he loves them. Everybody, no matter how young or old or tall or short you are. He loves everybody. And his foolish friends weren't letting the children come to him, but Jesus fixed that because he wanted to show that he loves everybody. But this week, you can read on the green card, it says this week. It's a little hard to see from there. And we have the picture here from this week's story. Now, since we can't be together every day and read out of the different Bibles like we do every day, I'll just read out of one Bible and I'll show you a few pictures from all the different Bibles. I'm going to read from our blue Bible. I'm going to show you some pictures from the yellow Bible and from the white Bible because they all have the same story in it. And here we have the Bible shelf with our other Bibles that I'm not going to open yet today. But first I'm going to read to you out of the blue Bible. And this story again is about Jesus doing a miracle. Now, who remembers what a miracle is? What's a miracle? A miracle is... That's right, a special act that Jesus does. That's a miracle. Jesus did a lot of miracles that we read about so far. You can see them over there in the library wall. We have the pictures of the old stories we already read about Jesus' miracles, about making Lazarus come up from the dead, about healing a man who was paralyzed, which means his legs were not working, and about feeding people bread and fish out of just a little tiny basket. And many more miracles that we read as well. But this miracle is called Jesus Walks on Water. Raise your hand if you can walk on water. I'm not going to raise my hand because I cannot do that. Can you walk on water? I don't think so. Never seen you do it before. And I've never seen anyone do it before, actually. But this says Jesus walks on water. It says, after everyone ate the miraculous meal, they're talking about the miracle Jesus already did with the bread and fish. After everyone ate that meal and it was time to go, Jesus told the disciples to sail their boat to the other side of the lake, and Jesus would stay behind to pray. The boat was far from shore. They had already went out to the middle of the lake when a big storm came up. The wind and the waves rocked the little boat to the left and then to the right. And as the men fought to keep from sinking, they saw someone out in the storm. They peered out over the boat and saw someone. He was not sinking or drowning in the storm. He was way out there on the water. Yikes, they said, it's a ghost. And they were shaking with fear. They screamed and were scared. The person came closer and the men saw it wasn't a ghost. It was Jesus. Jesus said, "Don't be afraid." Well, of course we're going to be afraid, Jesus. We're in a boat. It's rocking back and forth. We're all going to drown. And you look like a ghost. I'm scared, Jesus. I would have been scared. Peter said, one of Jesus' friends in the boat was named Peter. And he said, "Lord, if it's really you, tell me to come and walk on the water too." And Jesus said, "Come on." So brave Peter climbed out of the boat and he started walking on the water toward Jesus. He was really doing it. He started walking toward Jesus on the water. But as soon as he looked away from Jesus and he looked down and he saw the water was raging all around and the wind was blowing, he took his eyes away from Jesus and he started to sink and he felt the water coming up farther and farther. Peter got scared and he said, "Save me, Lord." He reached out and Jesus took him by the hand and put him back into the boat. Jesus said, "Why did you lose faith, Peter? Why did you stop trusting me?" Once Jesus and Peter were all wet, soaking, and got back into the boat, the men who all had seen it believed. They knew this really was Jesus, the Son of God. And I'm going to show you the picture here from where I was just reading. Peter climbed out. He started walking towards Jesus. And then he started to get scared because he looked away from Jesus. And he started to sink and drown. Jesus saved him, though. And here in the yellow Bible, there's another picture. Can you see Peter's face? He looks pretty worried to me. He looks pretty much like he's not looking at Jesus. He's looking up at the big clouds in the storm. And he looks like he is not trusting Jesus. Oh, here's another picture from the white Bible. So here's the men. They're saying, "Look out, it's a ghost." It's really just Jesus, though. And there's Peter. And Jesus is saying, "Get up, Peter, come out and walk." But Peter gets scared. Look, he's not looking at Jesus either. He's looking down at the scary, stormy water. And when they got back into the boat, all the men said, "You really are the Son of God, Jesus." Now, there's a question here, like there always is in my yellow Bible. It says, what is faith? Now, we already talked about that at another circle time. Faith means that you believe that Jesus is God's Son and that he came to save us from our sins. That's faith. And I think Peter and Jesus' friends had a lot of faith. They knew Jesus was a king, and they knew that he did miracles. But sometimes we still get a little scared, even though we know Jesus can do all of those things. In this story, Peter was so brave. He trusted Jesus. He jumped right out of the boat into the water, and he was doing his own miracle. With God's power, he was walking on water too, all while he was looking at Jesus, the Son of God. But as soon as he looked away, what happened? Jesus is not scary. Looking at him makes you feel safe and trusted. But when you look away from Jesus, you get scared and you can see all the other scary things that are going on around you, like a big storm, like a rocking waves and rain and wind, and all those scary things come into view and you can see them when you're not looking at Jesus. That can make you a little bit scared, huh? But it says we can have faith in Jesus even when we're scared. Can you think of something that makes you feel scared? I'm thinking of something that makes me feel scared. And that is being all alone in my house. I'm a grown-up girl, so sometimes I can be alone in my own house. You guys can't be alone all by yourself in your house, maybe with your big brother or sister. But I can sometimes be alone in my own house, and it is a little bit scary. Sometimes the wind is blowing outside, or there's a loud noise, and I think that a stranger's gonna come in. But then I can just look at Jesus and think about him and pray to him. And that makes me feel all better. Because when we look at Jesus and think about him, we don't have to be scared about anything. Because we have faith that he's the Son of God. He's our King. and he saves us from our sins, and he's always taking care of us. And like I always say, he's always watching you. He's always with you, no matter what. Well, thanks for joining me in my Bible story, you guys. I'm going to read the memory verse to you, and then I'm going to send you a picture of it, and I'm going to send you a button so that you can watch the Hail Jesus video that goes with this story. And I'm going to read the memory verse, and you can practice it at home too. And if you want to practice it and make your own video of you doing the memory verse and send it back to me with your parents' help, oh my goodness, that would be cool. That would be very cool if I saw you doing the memory verse at home, even though we can't be together. Our teachers would love that. Our memory verse is from Job 9:10. He performs wonders that cannot be understood and miracles that cannot be counted. Can you count all the miracles we read about so far in Bible story time? I don't think you could count all of them in the Bible, because it says he was doing miracle and miracle and miracle and healing all kinds of people. We can't even count them. And he still does miracles today, and he still does wonders that we cannot understand. That's what it's saying in the verse. We can't understand them because we don't have God's power. We don't know how to do them. Only Jesus does. But that makes me feel safe, because if I were in charge, there would be a storm every day. It would be crazy. And you could not have faith in me, but you can always have faith and trust in Jesus, the Son of God and our King. Thanks for joining me, guys. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you real soon back here on the Circle for Bible Time. See you later.